Hello again, I am Blunty. That there, of course, is the ROG Ally handheld gaming PC, now just a couple of weeks away from wide availability, although I do hear tell some people in some places in the world have accidentally got theirs early, depending on their retailers. So if you're one of those people, shout out in the down below. How you liking it? Now, if you've stumbled across this video first, before seeing any of my other videos about the Ally, you can also find like 9 other videos or something, all about various aspects and neat tricks and gameplay and whatnot the Ally is capable of, and of course a full-on review. These are all linked in the down below for your convenience. This video, though, is a direct follow-up, a sequel, if you will, to one I put up a few days ago, reviewing 2 representative samples of the common kinds of docks that, to this point, have mainly been marketed towards Steam Deck users, but can also, of course, be put to use for other devices, including the Ally, naturally, which works pretty great with them. Except 2 big issues that I pointed out in that review. Well, potentially big issues. Some people might not care at all. It kind of depends on your use case, whether or not the issues that I brought to light matter to you even a little bit. But the short version of this video is I've fixed those issues. So if you saw that original video, you're a bit and ahhing and a bit worried about what's going to happen. Yeah, don't worry. It's done. It's fixed. I can show you how to do it, and I'm going to tell you how. And this now moves these 2 docks up to a strong recommendation, as they now function perfectly as intended, and they're pretty fantastic. So, thank you for your attention. Thank you for any thumb you plop down, hintity hint hint, the sub button, the bell, hintity hint hint. And for me, I always enjoy reading, almost always enjoy reading comments. Some people are kind of. Most people are nice. So please, if you're going to leave a comment, tell me about your hopes and dreams about this kind of stuff, or your personal experiences so far. Now that we're moving into a strong second generation of properly mainstream handheld gaming PCs. And while we're thank you as always to the Patreons, because those people are kind of awesome to support me in the way they do. Thank you ever so much for that. Now then, the docks. The biggest issue I caught in my original review was the fact the Ally refused to enter its full turbo mode, which is only available when plugged in and being fed a full 65 watts from its USB charger. That is a 30-watt turbo mode. The problem with the docks, however, is they also need to sip a little bit of power for themselves, for their own internal circuitry, to drive the USB ports, to make the Ethernet work, to make the HDMI out work, and in one of the 2 cases, to power the full-size M.2 SSD drive bay. But all of that does mean the 65 watts the Ally's included charger supplies is, well, less than 65 watts by the time the docks pass along the remaining power to the unit itself after taking what they need to function. None of this was an actual issue in basic functionality as far as the Ally is concerned. It's still plenty to drive the unit without simultaneously draining the battery and anything like that. Fully functional, perfectly great, super nice, no worries. But that turbo mode did slip back into its fallback configuration of 25 watts, not the full 30. When I did my original review of these docks, I didn't have a more powerful charger to test with it. But as luck would have it, a new review product that just arrived at my door on Friday afternoon does happen to come with a 100-watt charger. So let's use that on the docks and see if my theory about power sharing being the issue was correct. And yep, as you may expect from the general tone and setup that I've been working on here, bam. Now that we have an excess of available power, these 100-watt rated docks can take what they need from that 100-watt input and still let the Ally pull the full 65-watt it wants, and in fact needs, in order to enable the full power Big Beef Wagyu Steak 30-watt power mode. And yes, it is the exact same story on both of the docks, the basic cheaper one and the fancier SSD carrying one, and you can expect this to be the case for any similar dock that is rated at 100-watt USB power delivery, often abbreviated as USB PD. So I've plopped a couple of Amazon links to what should be nice safe bets for 100-watt USB-C chargers in the down below for your convenience. Now, of course, you can still get by with the Ally's included charger and then upgrade to a 100-watt one when you want to or can afford to spend the extra on it. Like I said, the only real drawback is you're losing 5 watts of that turbo mode. Now, finally, the second issue, neither of these docks wanted to offer up anything past 1080p video out, which was super weird, as they're supposed to be 4K 60Hz capable, and the output of the Ally certainly is capable of squirting that out when supplied with an appropriate output. And the setup I was testing on perfectly handles and has handled for many years now 4K 60 perfectly fine with my gaming PC, my Xbox, my PlayStation 5. So it was really weird that I didn't see 1080p output from this. And I did try other cables and stuff, but it turns out both the HDMI cables I was testing might just be just just below spec. They work with other stuff just fine, but maybe the Ally's a little bit more fussy. Maybe it's the docks being a little bit more fussy. Maybe it's my monitor just being on the edge of fussy when it comes to this sort of stuff. Might be a combination. I don't know exactly, but what I do know is when I swapped it out for the HDMI cables I was already using on my other devices, taking from those devices and plugging it in, a known good cable, as it were, it presented 4K 60 and 1440p and everything in between, just as you would expect. So, might be time for me to invest in some better spare HDMI cables, I think. It's weird, I've been using these cables a lot, never had a problem until this. Both the ones I tested with originally are the same branding. Wish I could tell you what that was so you could avoid it, but I've had them for ages and that info's long gone now. But they were sort of inexpensive ones though. Oh well, lesson learned I suppose. Although honestly, let's be fair, this is a lesson I should already know. This isn't my first day with HDMI cables. In any case, I hope this has been interesting and useful to you, or at the very least put your mind at ease if you saw those original videos and you're umming and ahhing and second guessing and going, oh, well, I mean, yeah. Look, problem solved. Easy peasy. I'll be linking this video to the original one in a pinned comment in the description and a popover, so hopefully you catch it. If you have posted this to other places, like the Reddit or Discord or Twitter or something, reshare this video alongside that so people get the updated information, just so we can be as useful as possible to the community of users and potential users sitting out there right now. Thank you very much for your time. I am Blunty. Thank you as always to the patrons, of course, again. I will catch you next time.